You said you never married her.
I never married her.
So why you say good-looking husband?
I chose wrong. I chose my words unwisely.
We know you lying.
I keep coming back to your eyes to see, well, is she lying or is she telling the truth? Did he have that conversation?
No, we did.
And everything in your body language says that you were there.
Looks like McCrory just can't get enough of paternity court, as the couple is back.
Ms. McCrory, you and your husband claim the defendant's ex-husband, Mr. Gino Bailey, who recently passed away, fathered your 3-year-old daughter, Nevaeh. You say you will return to court to fight for your share of Social Security death benefits after today's test proves he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Shauna.
While the Smiths knew why McCrorys were after them.
Ms. Smith, how can you be so sure that your ex-husband isn't the father of Ms. McCrory's baby?
Because she's in it for the money. That's
Really?
all she wants is the money.
Why do you say that?
This is the proof of the survival benefits that my daughter.
I'd like to see that. Will you pass that to me, Ron?
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, I believe I have every right to the money because he's the father of her, I know 100% he is, and he should support her.
Ooh, right on spot. The woman won't hide her intentions.
Why didn't she give a DNA test before he died? Why did she wait until after he died and then 2 days later message my daughter and asked for her to give a DNA test?
That's a good question, Ms. McCrory. Why did you wait?
He actually would wanted to take a DNA test, but he wouldn't because of his current girlfriend he was with, because she didn't want him involved.
However, Miss Mento believed what her father had told her, and she wasn't taking any other revelations.
Because I had 19 years and I want to remember my father the way he was, being his only little girl.
Yes.
When I spoke to my father, he told me that it wasn't his. He said there's no possibility she looks nothing like him.
And then you chose to believe your father. That's what
Yes,
you were
I believe
told.
my father.
In addition, Mr. Bailey suffered from a condition that prevented him from fathering a child.
He had a medical condition that was to do with the XY chromosome. He had gotten someone pregnant. It could end up as a miscarriage. She has inherited the same chromosome as he had. This is the reason why she is having a hard time conceiving. We told her that he had a medical chromosome condition.
The judge was totally baffled at what this lot had gotten themselves into.
The stakes are even higher here. There's the paternity issue. You're saying there's also the survivor's benefits issue, potentially. And now there's a medical condition at issue.
She might not have known of the medical issue at that point when she was with him, but we, both my daughter and I, told her about it, and she called us a liar.
However, Miss Smith persisted that the hubby was the real father.
So, Ms. Smith, who do you believe the father is?
I
do
think
you
it's
know?
her husband, Mr. McCrory.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, wait a minute. You believe that the
God,
child's
this-
real biological father
me
is
off.
her current husband, Mr. McCrory, and you believe this is a plot. Ms. McCrory, who's on the birth certificate?
My husband.
Another plot twist. Talk about going in circles.
This is the certificate of live birth. The child's name, Nevaeh McCrory, and father's name is listed as your current husband, Keith McCrory. Now, Mr. McCrory, you said you stepped up to the plate because he didn't want to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He knew that he was the father because he actually texted my wife at the day of birth and said, congratulations, and can I see her?
Up next, the plaintiffs dished out photos to prove their point.
On the left, we have photos of Nevaeh,
His fangs and her fangs.
and then on the right, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, and they're in the same spot and everything. The eyes, they're big, huge, they got the
They're
same.
not.
So the court obtained photos of Nevaeh, pictured
look
on the
just
left,
like-
and Miss Mento
Okay.
as a child on the right. Do you see a resemblance there?
No.
They further went to this desperate length.
So you put up a memorial page.
I'm the one that made it.
You did for your dad once he passed away. And then you got messages that said from the McCrorys, listen, you're not daddy's only little girl, newsflash.
We've had.
And a message that said, don't worry, you'll meet daddy's girl soon. Hope you're a good big sister.
Time to get to the truth, I guess.
That Nevaeh McCrory and Sierra Marie Mento are not related.
Yes.
Told you.
Yes, told you.
Now we're both even.
Why don't you look surprised? Now you testified here for a good 30 minutes of my time that there was no other possible father in the world.
Oh, that would be enough to get the judge.
If this whole situation with Nevaeh and her real biological father can be solved in the living room instead of the courtroom, we are here for families who need us because they can't get down to the bottom of the situation without us. That's what we do here. But if you can leave out of this courtroom and dial that man's number and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you, I have some information, and you all never have to come see me, thank you, Lord.
A desperate plaintiff wants a DNA test because his ex is denying him paternal rights after finding a new man.
Mr. Butterfield, you've summoned your ex-girlfriend, Ms. Bracknell, to paternity court to prove that you are the father of her 2-month-old daughter, Cara. You say she's denying you are Cara's dad because she's worried her family will be torn apart when the results prove you are the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Bracknell, on the other hand, was confident that Mr. Dallas was the father.
So why are you convinced your fiance, Mr. Dallas, is the father?
All the features of my other kids are in that little girl.
Like what features?
Every
All your kids,
feature.
all your
She
boys
has
have blonde hair.
cheeks,
The cheeks,
she's
the
tall,
nose, the
long.
ears.
Cheek, the nose. Look at her.
So,
Beautiful.
Mr. Dallas, you say you are Cara's father. You believe you're her biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
He is.
So, this is what the conception calendar said.
Mr. Butterfield, you look at this calendar. Is this accurate? Is this when the relationship ended and when she went back to Mr. Dallas?
No, Your Honor, it's not.
It's not.
No.
What do you remember?
Oh, because honestly, we were sleeping together after that, all the way up until October 8th, the last time we had sex. Because I remember, I can take a lie detector
October?
test if you want to prove it.
So you
up in the
said-
mountains, up in the hills. You don't remember that, right?
But Butterfield pointed out the sham defendants were trying to sell.
Mr. Butterfield, you're saying that you were still having sex with Miss Bracknell till October. So although these dates may be true, they are missing.
Yeah.
They're
Yes,
inadequate
Your Honor.
because October there should be.
Sorry, I'm not meaning to interrupt. She used to work for an auto parts store, and she would call me and be like, hey, let's have a quickie, let's do this, and then she'd go back on her little.
Oh, really?
Both men were not ready to back down from paternal rights.
My little daughter, she's gonna be my little daughter. I'm gonna raise her my life.
She is
I'm gonna
not
raise
your
her.
daughter. She's
I'll raise her.
That's good. I'm not trying to get her back. I'm just trying to be in my daughter's life.
Cara Christine Dallas is what it's gonna stick with.
No, it
Yeah.
won't.
Watch.
Because I'm coming.
Because it's my daughter. I mean, there's no.
I'm all
When
you
she's
want.
she's
Ain't gonna
mine.
do anything.
I will be coming.
Okay, we'll see.
So, Mommy had been back and forth between both daddies per her convenience.
There's no reason.
She hid all
for
of her
it.
pregnancies. She even hid the one from her
no, I
youngest son,
didn't.
Carson. She hid from him.
No, I
he
didn't.
wasn't even at her youngest
were
son.
split up.
She was gone with her ex on my
Making it
birthday,
dramatic.
and then come crawling back after that.
On his birthday? Come on, man.
She was gone with Mr. Dallas or somebody else?
Somebody else. There could be more than one person
No.
that she's been with.
No, it's not true, Your Honor.
Really?
Mr. Butterfield claimed this during the trial.
She runs back to all of them. Like, the last person she cheated on me with was an ex-boyfriend. She run back to him. How many times? The only reason why she wants this baby, my daughter, to be his, she wanted the same baby dad. She didn't want to have 2 different baby daddies.
No.
But yet, we were trying to have a baby before. and
No,
yet-
we were not.
Glad we got that cleared from the way.
In the case of Butterfield versus Bracknell Dallas, and whether Mr. Dallas or Mr. Butterfield is the biological father, it has been determined by this court. Cara's biological father is Mr. Butterfield.
A web of lies has left Miss Brown stranded, but luckily, DNA doesn't lie. Let's see if it'll help.
Ms. Brown, you claim the defendant got you pregnant while on a break from his wife. His constant denials have caused you to petition the court for a DNA test. You say once today's results prove he is 6-month-old Blessing's father, you want him to stop denying her and step up. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wait, isn't he already married? This doesn't make sense at all.
What I need to know is, how did you marry him if he already had a wife?
Because he didn't have a wife.
How
He was
did
married
Me
to
and
me
Miss
at the
Douglas was
time.
together, but we were not married. We were separated.
Well, this is how things started between them.
We met through a mutual friend, which we basically had a long distance type of relationship. We talked on the phone, we Facebooked, all of that. So we don't court. We meet, we get married. That's how it goes.
So before you can have intimacy with somebody,
Yes, ma'am.
you have to be married.
Yes, ma'am.
However, Mr. Shinoster tried to dodge the paternity claims like this.
We inboxed back and forth, and She was living in a shelter at the time. She was about to move into her apartment. When she finally moved into her apartment, she said, come down so we can meet, okay? I caught the train. When I pulled up to the block, I seen about 8 guys on her step. So I called her because I was confused, like, where am I coming to? When I walked in, she said, here's your Abu. Abu is father. Talking to her 3 kids.
Playing coy ticked the baby mama really bad.
Marriage or no marriage, you still say you had sex with her.
Yes, yes I did.
So-
I did have unprotected sex with her.
And it was unprotected.
Yes, unprotected.
So
Unprotected sex.
Would you have unprotected sex with a
Yeah,
well,
probably a dog is a dog, ain't it?
I've got half a
We're
bottle.
married to him, honey. So what you saying? So what you saying?
But there was another man of the story.
How soon after you ended the relationship with Mr. Shinoster were you intimate with somebody else?
6 weeks after.
And how soon after that did you find out you were pregnant?
When I found out I was pregnant, I was 6 weeks and 3 days. I had sex with another man 3 days before I found out I was pregnant.
However, this was not the only truth that got out.
You submitted text messages that say the following. Mr. Shinoster says good-looking husband, beautiful wife equals good-looking babies. I'm just saying I love you and thanks you. Miss Brown, you respond, I love you too. Why are you thanking me? Laugh out loud. Mr. Shinoster says for carrying my child. Thank you.
And again, he lies about everything.
Your Honor.
Well, we know that judgment is only for the truth, and nothing but the truth.
You said you never married her.
I never married her.
So why you say good-looking husband?
I chose wrong. I chose my words unwisely.
You stuttering now.
Yeah, a little bit.
So let's just say, at this point, we know you lied. You're lying about the fact that you did at some point say that this was your wife and this was your child.
Time to press the lying daddy hard.
We do this too much. Any man,
answered the phone
listen.
and told me that that's not my daughter. This is the same man that answered her telephone and told me that was not my daughter. Do not contact them. That he's going to take care of her.
Now that's the testimony you need to be given.
Your Honor.
You're saying that this man was on the phone with you.
Was
he
on the phone
answered
with
the
me.
phone and told you this is not your child and don't come
And
around.
not to come around
Your
there.
Honor.
Only one thing left to do.
In the case of Brown versus Shinoster, when it comes to 6-month-old Blessing Brown, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Shinoster, you are the father.
A married man is claiming not to father his ex's child, but the defendant is sure who her baby daddy is.
Mr. Kirk, you claim she told you that you were not the father of her baby.
That is the truth, Your Honor.
Now you say she's changed her tune.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Antoine, you state that you do indeed believe Mr. Kirk is the father of your son. You argue that when you told him you were having his child, he ran off, got married, and started a family with another woman.
Talk about chickening out.
Your Honor, when me and him started talking, he stated to me that supposedly that we were just flinging around. Now,
Yes, Your Honor.
from what I was told, I told him straight up, I don't know about this whole fling thing. From what we built,
Your Honor, that's a
we
lie.
were messing around like every day, 24/7, every night. It was like there was no time to cheat.
Right after the initial testimony, the plaintiff started coming off as obnoxious.
Obviously, she had feelings within the relationship, which I don't blame her, you know, but
Did
shoot,
you have any feelings?
sexually, yes.
So you had no desire to be in a committed relationship
At
with
the
her?
time, no, I didn't. That's why I also was messing around with other females around the apartment.
Mr. Kirk was playing the blame game because he himself could not help but cheat.
You believe that relationship was sexual?
Yes.
So in your mind, during the time that she says she conceived this child, she was sleeping with the both of you?
Yeah, I mean, I had that doubt, you know, that he wasn't mine, you know, because she told me that he wasn't. I believed that I was sterile. I tried to have.
So now he is sterile. Just keep the lies coming, mister.
My mom ended up telling me, look on Facebook. There's a picture of Shay's baby. So I looked up on there, and truly, I didn't see any kind of connection between me or him. You know, I mean, yeah.
Why?
she
Because
took-
my baby has green eyes?
Yeah, because he has green
Exactly.
eyes.
My
He's a
dad
little
has
bit-
green eyes. Thank you.
All right, well, you know what? I didn't know that, all right?
I told you that.
You know what?
I told you that.
You didn't tell me
yes,
that.
I did.
The next wife joined the trial.
Ms. Hanley, were you aware that your husband could
potentially have a son by Miss Antoine when you met him?
No, not when I met him, no.
How soon after your relationship began did he make you aware of that?
I would have to say it was 5 months when I was pregnant with my daughter.
And he told you then?
Yeah, and that's when he told me. He told me he didn't know if he was the father of that child.
Apparently, the woman was totally clueless about what her husband was playing.
So you have no idea if your husband fathered her son? No idea?
None, not at all.
Mr. Kirk, let me go back to you. What are your doubts, ultimately?
Like I said, you know, she told me that there was no chance that the child was mine. She was sleeping around from what I heard.
From what you heard?
Yes, from what I heard.
And it seemed that the Mr. at the podium was not done with his deception.
You would have the decency and courtesy to still not be trying to talk to me while you have a wife.
Mr. Kirk, is that true?
Yes, that is true. You know what? I'm trying to build a relationship with this woman.
I did not know he was sitting here trying to
Every
get
day.
with her.
How you doing? I love you. I miss you. I want to see you and my son. I want to be with y'all. We can do
And
this
he's
together.
nodding his
I
head
have my evidence
affirmatively.
and everything,
Yes.
Your Honor.
The man has no shame, that's for sure.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Look,
say nothing
look,
before then. How
look,
come
both
you
of
didn't
these
say
women
nothing
right
before
here,
then?
that one right
No,
there,
you
and
don't
that
let
one
me
right
speak.
there.
You
If
are
they
gonna
are
let
the
me speak.
speak.
I was not aware of any of those messages. He never told me about any of those messages. The only way I found out was because he texted his mom and told his mom that he was going to go out to Texas to go be with Shay.
Miss Antoine was not just making accusations, she had evidence to prove herself.
So I can see me being in love with you. I saw it, but then I was young and didn't know how to deal with it. I see you as the woman you are, and I'm falling more in love with it every day.
Are you serious, Eric?
Yeah, I
Serious?
thought that.
Serious.
Oh, how are these women keeping up with him?
Why would I tell her about that right now?
Because that's your
Well,
wife.
You know what? No, me and her are going through our problems.
That's your wife. That don't matter.
All right,
That's
yeah,
your
you know
wife.
what? That's
your
my
wife.
wife.
That's
That's
your
my wife,
wife.
all right?
That's
But
your
you know
wife.
what?
Y'all supposed
But
to
you
tie
know-
vows, be there between thick and thin,
how can I
rough
when
and
she
tough,
won't be there for
whatever it
me?
is.
How
Y'all
can I when
supposed
she
to
won't
be
be
there.
there for me?
Hold
So
on,
you know
let's
what?
get in order. Let's get in order.
Absurdity level. Looks like he wanted to make the situation permanent.
Look,
Your Honor,
look,
am I?
look at the
Mr.
story of Abraham.
Mr. Kirk, Mr. Kirk, turn around.
Look at
Address
the
the court. You're not running the circus here. You're not the ringmaster.
Okay, well, they're doing me.
What
so I
is
just
this
had to let
ring?
them know. I just had to let them know. But look at the story of Abraham on how he had both of
we
his
go with
families.
Abraham.
May I? All right, look,
Listen to
this
this.
man was able to
Miss
take.
Hanley, let's get some order.
Let's get down with a little reality check.
I don't think either woman is apt
I know.
to participate.
I know. I just brought the idea up to him. They said no. I said okay, fine, leave it alone.
Why would you even bring the idea up?
Maybe because I felt like it would
Because
have been better
you
if
felt
we
like
would have
you could
all
be
been
like the people
together.
in the Bible, like
No.
Abraham and David and them, and have like 3 or 4, 5 wives.
Even after that result, it's the necessity of the situation.
In the case of Kirk versus Antoine, when it comes to the paternity of 3-year-old Carmelo Royal, Mr. Kirk, you are the father.
Siona's mother is in paternity court because her father is making outrageous claims to avoid her.
Ms. Foster, you've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant fathered your 17-month-old daughter, Siana, a beautiful little girl born with extreme medical needs. You've dragged him to court to order he pay the support he's been neglecting.
Apart from very little help, the defendant only came around for his own interest.
I met Shania on Facebook. She came and see me about the 31st of May that month. She came to my house, you understand, take off her pants right there in front of me. I'm still sitting in the bedroom.
You had sex that night on the night she got dropped off?
I had sex with her. Her mom came and picked her up because her mom came to my house and picked her up.
Further, Mr. Fields ruled out the baby mama as being obsessed with him.
Your Honor, I got evidence that Shania just called my mother asking her for my phone number.
If I was on. Wait a minute, Mr. Fields, you say you have evidence that
I
says
have
that.
evidence that my mom just called my phone saying that Shania called her asking for my phone number.
I did not
Inboxing
call
my
her.
little
What would be
brother.
wrong? What would be wrong with that?
Inboxing my little brother on Facebook.
Ms. Foster, on the other hand, claimed otherwise.
I left you. You were crying to me, begging to come back with me. How you want your
all the way-
family.
So why would you make my life a living hell?
I don't even talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a while. I don't understand where he's coming from. He just was talking to me 2 days ago.
No, I wasn't.
Telling me how he loves me, how this is not going to work because
Bruh,
his family doesn't
you-
like
wait, time out,
her.
because now you're lying.
Everything.
Now you're lying.
Liars, unluckily, have evidence on them.
A Facebook message that says, I still have love for you that will never change. I wish wish we would have had a longer relationship. Even with my girlfriend now, our relationship not going to last long.
Listen, I haven't had
This
Facebook.
is from Mr. Fields?
I didn't write it. I don't get on Facebook. I don't own a Facebook.
Ms. Foster's mother also gave valuable input to the court.
In the beginning of her pregnancy, he was there. He went to doctor's appointments. He would be there. He comforted my daughter. He was worried. He was asking questions about the baby because they found 3 holes in her heart. Because he was involved with my daughter and because he was concerned about my grandchild, me and my husband accepted him. I sat down with him. Me, my husband, my daughter, and Jay Quill all sat down in my living room.
Mr. Fields again denied all the claims.
Mr. Fields, you're saying you don't believe you are Sienna's father.
Nope.
But you've been present. Why is it that you decided to just leave the entire situation alone and turn your back on it?
Because it wasn't left up to me. I would have did what I had to do for the baby, but it wasn't left up to me. So I mean, like I said, well, why would she put me through this? So I said, this is not my baby.
It turns out that Sienna was not the only child, as her twin passed away.
She was pregnant with twins.
Not at that
and
time.
she lost the baby. And when she lost the baby, he was there. He was,
He was not there. He actually,
I'm not saying
when
he
I
was
told
there,
him I
but
lost
he
my
was-
twin, when I told him that the doctor said the twin was gone, he said, suck it up and get over it. That's what he told me to do.
Life goes on, man.
Yeah, address the fake away, Judge.
You know good and well you talked to these people. You know you cared about this child. When this mother sit here and talks about the conversations she's had with you, I keep coming back to your eyes to see, well, is she lying or is she telling the truth? Did he have that conversation?
No, we did.
And
We
everything
did have
in
a
your body
conversation.
language says
We did have that
you were
conversation.
there.
So it seems like because of a new woman in life, Mr. Fields wants to be done with a baby girl.
And so is the distance furthered now?
Yes.
Because of your new relationship and what you say is a difficult back and forth between you and Miss Foster, which only separates you further from Sienna, which you acknowledge could possibly be your child.
Correct.
All right, now I understand the distance.
As much as I felt for the baby girl, the only solution left for her was the result.
In the case of Foster versus Fields, when it comes to 17-month-old Sienna Foster, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Fields, you are her father.